Hi friends, welcome back to Make and Play. Today is the last segment of our medieval village with our awesome castle. And no castle village is complete without a dragon. So today we are going to tackle a dragon, not really tackle a dragon, that would be dangerous, but we're gonna tackle the drawing of a dragon. I want to remind you that today what you're gonna start with is a pencil. And then if you have an eraser, you can see my supplies here. These aren't beautiful because they're used. This isn't a set where we just put everything beautifully out here. This is a working studio. So we've got real supplies here. We got some little tiny colored pencils because we use them till they're gone. Until I have to use a knife to sharpen some of these because they won't fit in a sharpener anymore. So make sure you get your pencil. I have to have an eraser because look, that's the first thing to go in the studio is the erasers. We make lots of mistakes and that's okay. So you're gonna need a pencil and an eraser. And I like to use a marker to outline my stuff. You don't have to do that though. So really all you need is a pencil, an eraser, and something to color with if you wanna add color to yours, and that's it. So we're gonna start with our dragon. You might be able to see my light pencil lines on here. This is just to help me be able to do a good job drawing for you because I want to do a good job for you. And I'm gonna start with my marker because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. And I have turned mine upside down to face you. So here's my little thing that says top. See that? Top. This is the top of my page. I've turned it upside down so you can see what I'm doing and you can follow along. And we are gonna go back to our shapes again. Remember, we start with shapes. And then we're gonna add texture and details. So here we go. We're gonna start with circles because most of the dragon is made up of circles. And this is gonna be my head up here. I'm gonna start with a circle for the head and a circle for the muzzle. So when I come back in here, you're gonna see some of these. I might have to just flip to a different page to do that so that you don't see all these lines. And then we're gonna do a circle for the body. It's not a circle, it's an oval. So it's not even quite an oval, it's an egg shape. You can see how this lines up. This edge lines up with the middle of the head, all right? And then this is where his little paws are gonna be, or hands. I'm gonna put those two there because he's fine, he has those paws. And then this is his leg here, all right? And then this is his back foot and his front foot. You got that? And his other leg. All right, so we have 4 legs. We're gonna connect this here. There we go. And now we're going to add in where our wings gonna go because I like a flying dragon. They're much more interesting. It's easier to get around when you can fly. And he needs a tail. It's like his rudder. Helps him move around. All right, there's his tail. And there is his neck. I'll give you a second and let you guys catch up there. Like I've told you before, everything's made of shapes. So when you're looking at something, really look at what it's made up of because everything is made up of shapes, all right? And then once we draw the shapes, we can go and do what's called the contour. The contour drawing is where we take those shapes and we contour, we curve it, we carve it out to be the exact shape of the object that we're drawing, okay? So, oh wait, we need to do some horns. All right, let's do this curve here. That's one horn. I forgot to get these on there. And here's the other horn, like that. I think all good dragons need a horn. And then I'm gonna come back like this and like this. There we go. We have some horns. And they're just kind of a moon shape. All right. So now we have the shapes and we're gonna do what's called the contour. All right. So we're gonna come in and we're gonna carve away what we need to make this really look like a dragon. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna, let's start with the face. Okay, so it's really not a circle in a circle. We're gonna carve this out where we cut a little bit away here. What these shapes do is they save the space for us to work around. All right, they're just saving all this space here for us to use. They're space savers. And then we're going to make our little muzzle there, okay? So this is my new line here. See that? I wish I could erase this here, but I can't because I'm using a marker. So this is the muzzle for our dragon, okay? And then the next thing we're gonna do is let's go ahead and make, I have my dragon right below the camera, so when I look down there, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at my dragon, and he's hanging upside down so I can see him correctly. Let's go ahead and let's work on the wings, all right? So we're not really gonna have this kind of rectangle connected here. We're gonna make this come in a little bit, and then when I make this wing happen, do you see how I'm continuing this line? I don't want it to look like we have a stick on an oval, okay? I want to have this continuous contour line. That's where that word is very important, contour. And then I want to have a nice curve. Do you see what I've done there? I've created this nice curve. I like that line. It's nice and smooth. All right. And I'm not gonna make the end here because that's where we're gonna have some feathers. Let's put the back side of that wing. I'm going over this line a lot. Remember, you're using a pencil so that you can erase if you need to, but I'm using a marker so you can see it. I'm going over these lines so that you can see what my new line is, my contour line, where I'm going over those shapes. The next thing that we need to do for our contour is we need to go ahead and work on the little paws and the legs. Okay, so the way that we create the little hands is that we need some toes. So I'm gonna add the middle toe first, and then I'm gonna add the outside toe. There's only 3. I don't know why, but that's. And he's probably got, maybe he has an opposable thumb on the other side. I don't know. 3 is a great number in art. Okay, odd numbers. So I do the middle, and then I do the side. When you look at animals and you're doing little cartoons of animals and drawings of animals, that's a good way to start, is to put this middle one first, and then go on either side and create that symmetrical paw, so that that middle one overlaps. It's kind of in front. All right, so now we're gonna go to the back legs, and I'm going to kind of carve these out a little bit right here, contour them, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. Do that middle toe, and then the side toes. All right, I like that. That looks good. And let's see what else we need to do. We need, it's time for details. That's all the contour drawing that we have. We need to start adding details. So we start with shape, we go to contour, and now we're adding details. So one of the details we need to add is an eyeball. He needs an eyeball. So right here to the edge of this circle, I'm gonna add another circle, and this is where his eye is gonna be. I'm giving him a nice big Disney princess eye. And then I'm gonna put a little point there and a little point there. I'm making my dragon look very friendly. You can make yours look menacing if you want to. I'm gonna leave a white spot here for the highlight. And since I've got my marker, I'm just gonna color this in. But you can wait and do that when you add your color, okay? Because you're working in pencil right now. He needs a nostril so he can breathe, or breathe fire, okay? That's very important. And now I'm going to give him a mouth, and mine's gonna have a smile because, like I said, I have a very happy kingdom that I've created, and I wanna have a happy dragon. I'm gonna add some dimension to the horns by adding this line in here, okay? And then You can watch me right here. Boom, boom. That makes it look like it's connected to the head. We can't see that part on this one because it's behind the head, okay? That's overlapping, okay? The head overlaps that, and that creates space in our drawing. All right, let's move to the wing, which is my favorite part. We're gonna add this little like rib bone that comes off of the body. My producer director, Miss Heather, is a biologist, and she would probably correct me right now with my vocabulary about this wing because she studies birds. But I'm gonna call it a rib, some sort of wing rib bone, I don't know. The next thing we're gonna do is we are going to put feathers on this wing, and they are gonna overlap. So I'm gonna start here. Here's my first one. They overlap from the top to the bottom, so I'm creating my texture. It's not real texture, I can't feel it. It's implied texture, okay? But that's all drawing is just a big trick of the eye. None of this exists, it's just flat, right? So we are making people believe that they see something that's not even really there. It's not really a dragon, it's a drawing of a dragon. So I'm just layering this pattern onto the wings. So your wings can have a different pattern. Maybe you want them to be very slick, like a bat or some sort of reptile. That's okay. That's your choice. And then I'm gonna end them when I get to my edge here. Remember, these shapes save a space for us to work within. So I know when I get to that edge, like that's where my space is done. And it helps me make a plan, all right? You're not seeing that on this because that's the other side of the wing. This is on the other side of the body. And when we learn to draw like that, we have much more sophisticated drawings, which means it looks like somebody older did it. That's very important. The next thing I'm gonna do here is I'm going to add this part that goes underneath his body, almost like a snake. I always feel like dragons are like a mixture between birds and reptiles. Can you get that done there? Do you see how this makes it also look like it's 3 dimensions? It makes everybody think that they're seeing the underside of this dragon. You can take this idea and just run with it. Maybe you're gonna add ears. Maybe you're gonna have lots of horns. Maybe you're gonna have a pointed tail. You get to decide, just like in the movie, How to Train Your Dragon, there were so many different types of dragons, just like there's different types of birds and other animals in the animal kingdom. So you get to use your beautiful imagination to make yours the way you want it to be. Because there are no rules whatsoever. So let's see, I've got my wings and my little underbelly. Oh, he needs some claws. My dragon only uses his claws for good things, okay? Maybe to scratch somebody's back, maybe open a can, but not for anything menacing. Now yours can be super menacing. Maybe he's gonna eat the villagers, I don't know. But you get to decide that. So you can see those easy little paws that I made. If you wanted to, you could add scales. You can do so much more with this texture. I'm not going to do that on there because I've got enough texture here and here. I want those 2 things to stand out. And if I put texture here also for mine, it's gonna be too much. So I'm just gonna leave this plain right here. I'm gonna add this texture though on the horns, and you see, because I put this line in the middle, when I do this kind of chevron design here, it makes it look like it comes towards us because this point comes down. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Oh, and I wanna put one more line that's gonna go from his nose over his eye and connect with the horn. It just gives us another like visual plane that makes it look like it turns, all right? And then I'm gonna have this, let's see, I think it's just gonna end right there. All right, so this guy is ready to color. You can make yours any color you want. Let's see, maybe he's gonna be orange. And when I start to color him, I can think about changing the colors as I go, because it's more interesting if you have variation. So if I'm working within a color family like orange, well, yellow and red make orange. So I could also get yellow for my lighter color and red for my darker color. And then I can use these other colors to create shadows. Okay, maybe I'll put the red down here. And I can use my yellow in between if I want. This looks like some sort of like fire dragon. And you see right now they don't blend. I should have actually put yellow up here. That's okay though. That's the wonderful thing about art. We can change things and just kind of roll with it. And then I can come back on top if you're using colored pencils. Now, if you're using crayons, it's gonna be a little bit different. Or markers. Some of you may have Copic markers. Oh, they're so good. Copic markers are just amazing. My daughter, who's 15, great, and she has Copic markers, and I don't use Copic markers. That's a medium that I'm not familiar with using. I'm familiar with them, but I don't use them. So she would probably take this and use her Copic markers, which are alcohol-based, and they blend, and you would get a different look. So that's a really cool thing about art, is we can all do the same project, and they're all going to look different because of our styles and our abilities and where we are in our art journey, and also the materials that we're using, the medium. All right, so I will continue working on this dragon until I have him completely colored. But what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go to our play segment, and I'm going to show you the dragon that I finished, and I'm going to show you how we have built out our medieval town and how you can play with it. And it's been a great week. I've enjoyed being with you guys, and I hope that you continue to add to your little village that you have, because it's the only limitations is the limitations of your imagination, and there's no limits there. So go and just take over the dining room. Have a great time, and be kind to one another. And I'll see you in just a second. Howdy friends, here we are at our play segment, which is always super fun. So we made our dragon today. He's coming into the picture. And you can see I colored him using all sorts of pinks and purples, which I think goes really well with my backdrop I made. So yesterday I quickly painted this large piece of paper that I had. And like I've said before, you could like open a box, and then you would have like you'd have more of a three-dimensional backdrop if you wanted. And you could cut out paper to make a backdrop, and it doesn't have to be mountains. I just thought that would fill the space really well and add some more color. I also took some maps. I have some friends at the Cushing Library at Texas A&M, because I'm in Bryan, Texas, Bryan College Station, Texas, and we have awesome Texas A&M here. Whoop! So some sweet Aggies gave me a stack of maps that they were getting rid of at the Cushing Library, and I put them on the table, and I sprayed them with some watercolor spray, because I have that here. You can look around. Maybe you have your mom has a tablecloth, or somebody in the house has a tablecloth you could use to create your ground. And then we, Miss Heather and I, we wadded up tissue paper to fill in this back part here. I just happen to have some kind of faded green tissue paper, but we used that to fill in. And then I had a whole thing of buttons, and we used some buttons to make a dry creek bed over here in our enchanted forest. And we used some we used some rhinestones here to create some colorful poop for our animals because we thought that was hilarious. We're playing, right? We want to have fun. So when we play, we can do whatever we want. I took my castle and I took it off the Triscuit box and I glued it to a larger box and made sure that I cut the door out. So you have somebody with some bigger hands and an X-Acto knife or a carpet knife to do that for you. And that way I can really play in here. I want to finish out the inside of my castle so that it's like a little dollhouse where I can really play. And then, hi, there's Ernie. He's in there. Who else is in there? There's Bert. Oh, there's Cowboy back here. He's, oh, I knocked the Cowboy over. He's the teacher. He's behind the desk. And over here we added a potted plant. It's part of our forest. So this just shows how you can look around your house where you are right now and you can find things to add to your playscape. I don't think I had this last time. I used a brad that goes through here to add my windmill, okay? The little things to my windmill, and that's just a straw, and I taped them on the back. And we built things out with blocks. Now I could spend a whole lot more time building with blocks, and then I think it'd be fun to put my train through here, even though there weren't trains back then, but it doesn't matter, it's mine. Maybe make a little parking lot with my Matchbox cars. You can add anything you want. If you've got like a Littlest Pet Shop set, you could like add those in here. You can add anything you want because this is your imaginary world, okay? I'm not sure what we're building next week. We're still figuring that out, all right? But we're gonna get it together and we're gonna come back to you on Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Oh wait, we have to have the sanitation department has to come in. Ready? He's like, ah. He's looking for cookies, okay? We come in here, and of course we need to back up. Beep, 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 beep. And like he's gonna go and check on Bert and Ernie, see if they have any trash. Hello, Bert and Ernie. So, until we meet again, have a great time building, and just use your imagination, have fun, and be kind, and we will see you soon.